Russia has accused Ukraine of thwarting peace talks by escalating air attacks. It comes as Germany says Kyiv is now free to use Western-supplied weapons to hit military targets deep inside Russia. Britain and the US lifted range restrictions on the weapons they supplied to Kyiv last year. The German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said the move would help Ukraine to fight the war. The comments from Germany follow a blistering series of attacks on Ukraine over the weekend, in which Russia launched hundreds of drones, along with at least 9 cruise missiles. Officials in Moscow have suggested President Trump is, quote, emotionally overloaded after the US president said Vladimir Putin had gone absolutely crazy by escalating airstrikes on Ukraine. A little earlier, I heard from Victoria Vdovichenko, programme leader of the Future for Ukraine project at Cambridge University, to get her response to the German Chancellor's comments and what difference she thinks it will make to the Ukrainian war effort.
The German Chancellor just reinforced the words not only of Keir Starmer, but also of President Macron and, of course, the position of the United States on having no longer any restrictions to have this long-range missile attacks and basically attacks is happening. Because to be precisely what you said, it's not only more than 300 Shaheds, it's actually 900 Shaheds in the last 3 days that were launched on civilians. To be precisely, not only on Kyiv capital, where basically there were a combination attacks with missiles, but also in many other major cities. And basically, there was actually the celebrations of Kyiv, what we say birthday, so when anniversary of the city comes. What does it make and what it feels for Ukrainians? For most of all, is not only to target the Russian civilians, but actually to target the depots of where the most, what we say, of the weapon and the strikes where the Russian troops are launching. That will be definitely the game changer. And of course, if the United States President Donald Trump words going to be true, of course, Ukraine would love to see those sanctions to be in action, because it was promised already since May 12th, when no ceasefire from the Russian troops and Russian position was reaffirmed. So therefore, sanctions didn't happen that time. We hope they're going to be happen at the beginning of June, if supposedly, understandably, when the Congress is going to be out of its holidays and can vote for such sanctions, led by Lindsey Graham, to be in action.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned President Trump then. Do you think there's anything significant about the change in his rhetoric regarding Mr. Putin?
Well, that's the point, because Donald Trump is zigzagging. So sometimes he's saying one thing and then reinforcing it from different actions, and sometimes it's a reverse thing. So now, finally, when he says that he is disappointed with the position of Kremlin leader, it's not something new for Ukrainians, and it's not something new for the European leaders itself. But being disappointed and making it in a real, let's say, actions, there are two different things. And we hope we can see these words being linked to actions.